Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, how many of you completed your task filling in easy forms? No one did? Yes, no. I'm going through protocol, did not complete easy. Okay. So, what others are doing? At what stage you are? I'm asking you something. Did you complete easy forms? If you not, why? What is the difficulty you are facing? I want to know. Doing protocol. What are you doing? What are you doing in protocol, Aswati? Aswati, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing in protocol? You're reading it or what? First, all of you, did you all complete feasibility?
Yes, sir.
So everyone completed feasibility and CDA. Okay. So did everyone complete essential documents? Essential documents. How many of you have taken printouts? Abhishek Hemachandra. Can you show Abhishek your binder?
Yeah, sir, just a minute.
Okay, meanwhile, how many of you have completed those printouts? Jyoti, you have typed yes. It is yes for essential documents or for feasibility?
Essential documents, I took the printouts. Sir.
Yeah. Okay, great. So have you made index, Abhishek? You're not audible.
Index I haven't done.
Yeah, okay. I'll just share your generic index right now. Okay, 2, 3 indexes I'll share. So I've shared the indexing group. You can see. Everyone received in group?
Yes. Sir.
So this index you can use and arrange documents according to this index. Any of these, it's your wish. You can also search online. There are many templates to it. Okay, it shouldn't be a problem. And what's the next task you are given? So I said GCP training. How many of you have completed?
I have completed.
Okay. So if you are in internship stage or anything, it's better to complete ICIGCP because it is minimum requirement. Even some hospitals allow you to work as intern there in clinical research department. Okay, but in order to work there, you should have ICIGCP certificate, without which it is not possible. Okay. Is Alvin hosting the?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop recording, Alvin. Yeah, just.
Okay, sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes. Sir.
So I've told you what invoices are, right? Before. So invoices are simply like a bill. Okay, you do certain work in clinical trial, you raise an invoice against it. So say for example, CRC salary, or you have given you have done particular lab test to your subject in your hospital. So for that you will raise certain amount which is present in CTA, okay, which is allowed in CTA, and you will send it to sponsor. Then the sponsor will send that amount to your institute or investigator, whoever that might be. Okay. Understood what invoice is?
Yes, sir.
So invoices are a few types. So invoice means simply what I've told you just now. So for few purposes we use invoice. First is we raise invoice for ethics committee review. Okay. Initially, once you receive any documents from sponsor and investigator needs to get EC approval from their institute, his respective institute. Okay. Then sponsor have to pay EC review fees. So further, investigator has to raise invoice stating how much is the EC review fees at their institute, initial review fees. So there will be two types of EC review fees. One is for initial review, okay, for reviewing entire study, initial. Next, amendments. Okay, whenever amendments come in that once the study is approved and it's ongoing, whenever amendments comes in the study, so protocol has got updated, IB has got updated, ICF has been updated, okay. In such cases also, EC needs to review the documents, okay, and give its approval, especially for protocol and ICF. So in that case also, investigator needs to raise a invoice against that cost. Usually, the initial cost of review will be high compared to amendment, right? So next would be CRC salary invoice. Sometimes the CRC salary would be separately mentioned in the CTA. Sometimes it will not be mentioned separately. Okay, if it's mentioned separately, then each month or it will be like visit wise. So for particular patient, for if there are 10 patients allowed in the study. Okay, for each patient, each visit, this much amount will be given to CRC. So that will be the scheme. Or in the CTA, it will be monthly. Monthly, this much amount will be given to the CRC. So whatever the scenario might be, the investigator needs to raise the invoice at specified times. Okay. If it's patient-wise, visit-wise, so once the patient comes for this visit, that visit has been completed, like screening has been completed, cycle 1 and cycle 2 has been completed. For each visit, how much is the CRC charge or CRC salary? Investigator has to send it to the sponsor. Usually they send like in every 2 months once or 1 month once, right? For all the visits covered. Same for cycle cost or investigator fees. Here, the investigator fees will be released by the sponsor each time the patient visits the that hospital for performing his scheduled test or administering the treatment. Once the treatment or scheduled visit has been done and the data has been checked by the sponsor, okay, monitoring has been done, then the sponsor will release the investigator fee to the institute or to the investigator. For that also, investigator has to raise the investigator invoice. Okay. So here sometimes including we will call it as a cycle cost or visit cost. So sometimes investigator cost and routine tests will be included in the visit cost. That means they will be doing some safety investigations at the site, like hematology test is there, CBP is there, biochemistry is there, urine analysis. That cost along with IP, along with bed charges and investigator fee will be clubbed into visit cost. Okay, or it will be separate. Okay. So next type of invoice is investigational cost. So the investigations which are not included, if they are not clubbed into investigation fees or visit costs, like CT scan is there, MRI is there, or any additional investigations which has been done due to AESA is there. So all those kind of tests needs to be charged to sponsor through investigational invoices. Okay. And next kind of invoice is for AE and SA management. So if the patient is admitted due to an SA, then until it's proven that the SA is due to or not due to the drug, until that time, until the relationship is proven, until that time, sponsor needs to pay for the subject management cost. Okay. So if let's say example today the patient is been admitted into the hospital due to some adverse event, okay, then that is considered as SA, right? More than 24 hours have passed, and it is serious nature. Until that time, all job report comes, and the investigator needs some time to establish relationship between, to see if the SAs happened due to that drug or not. To find out, we need some time. Okay. Once that establishment is made, till that time, the sponsor needs to pay for SA management of the subject. If the relationship is established, if the sponsor feels, if the PI feels that it is due to drug and the same has been returned to the sponsor and also sponsor agrees, then continuously they have to pay for the entire duration, and also the compensation will be given to the subject. Okay. But for the management part, we have to raise the invoices. Okay. So you understood the types of invoices? Any doubts in it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what will be the first invoice you would be raising?
Initial review.
Yes, EC review, right? So Alvin, you can stop recording. So this is a structure of invoice. Every sponsor will have their own format. Okay, own format of raising the invoice. But the contents will be more or less same. So let's say, for example, this box of invoice number might be below. Okay. So the structure will be different for each sponsor, for each company, but the contents will be similar or same. Okay. So here, let's see, we have raised an invoice for clinical research coordinator salary. Okay. So it is for May month. So it is 25,000, and we have a particular investigational overheads. You know, right, what investigational overheads are?
Institutional, sir.
Yes, institutional charge, right? So institutes charge some amount on all the projects or all the activities which are ongoing, because they are giving the space and providing their resources. Okay. So whatever the institutional overheads are there, we will add upon the CRC salary. Okay. And on the total amount, the institute has to pay the GST to the government. So the GST has to be added here. Okay. So this is how a coordinator salary looks like, right? So each month or once in 3 months, like that, you can generate CRC salary and send it to the sponsor. So the important part of the invoice is your hospital name, address, contact number should be clear. Okay. To whom you are sending the invoice should be clear. Their complete address should be written here. The contact person name of the sponsor should be there. Okay. Their email ID should be there, and invoice number should be present here. And more importantly, why you are raising the invoice, the title of invoice, the purpose of invoice should be written here. Okay. And there will be invoice number. At times, sponsor will allow you to raise your own invoice number. Okay. Like 10, 11 sequentially, whatever invoices you are raising, whatever category it might be. So from one you will start 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Sequentially, you will give the number. Sometimes sponsor will have their own code, their invoice number they will provide, like CK. This is the study type, study short form. It is considered 1-10 like this. Okay. And sometimes they will give the authorization number or invoice authorization number or their internal bill number. Okay. That also it should be present, right? Whatever that might be. Okay. Next, study name, PI name should be present. Okay, and date of invoice is very important. Next, you should always write amount in numbers as well as words. Okay, and tax details and account number is important. So you should write account number, IFSC code, branch name, and all the banking details should be present. And the nature of service should be written here once again. So the account number, some institutes will have investigator account number for investigator fee and CRC account number directly for CRC fee. Some institutes does not allow that. Okay, they will have only single account in which all the amount, study related amount will be deposited. From that, institute will disperse the CRC salary or investigator charges to investigator, etc. Okay. Did you understand the structure?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what changes we need to make here for to raise the EC invoice? What you write here? Ethics committee. Review invoice, right? Let us keep it as invoice number 1. So how much should I keep as EC review fee?
5,000.
25,000 to 30,000.
5,000, no one will review your. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Have you seen the composition of EC members?
Some tax return, I think so.
No, you have seen the composition of EC members, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
The pharmacologist, lawyer, okay, on labor.
5 members,
Yeah. So do you think
more
for,
than minimum 5 members.
so for 5 members who is clinician and everyone, do you think they will review for 5,000?
No, sir.
No.
So while thinking, you have to think logically also. That's what I told. Like logic is very important in clinical trials. Okay. So let us keep it as 30,000, right? Okay. So what is 22% of 30,000? Calculate and tell me.
Around 6,300.
There is no around 6,600. Okay. So how much is the amount now?
36,000.
Okay. So there will be TDS, okay? There will be tax deduction at source, which the sponsor will deduct the tax, okay, from the source. That means before giving the amount, they will pay a certain tax, which the institute can claim from the from government or the department later, okay. So, but some institutes will not claim and ask the sponsor to send amount. Let's say if it is 30,000, okay, or let us consider it is 30,000, and institutional overheads removing everything, After reducing that 10% also, they should get this 30,000. Understood? Let's say, for example, you are raising, just forget about the institutional overheads, okay? If they reduce this amount, it will become only 27,000, no? So they will not accept like that, okay? So how it is it? If it is like considered it's 5,000, okay? We have to keep point maybe 90. Now if you reduce it will become 5,000, okay? Understood?
Can you read again, sir? I didn't get it.
No. So what happens is there will be 10% overhead charges, okay? Yeah, sorry, 10% TDS at source, okay? This TDS will be reduced from your entire amount, okay? From your entire amount. Let us, for now, let us remove investigational overheads, okay? And let us consider only on the, I'm telling that this is a not a initial review fee. Let us consider this as an amendment, okay? So if you raise the invoice for 5,000, okay, they will reduce 10% and send it to you. That is tax deduction at source, okay?
Okay.
So how much you have to add so that they will still get 5,000, I'm asking.
Understood.
Hmm?
Yes.
500? Okay. So do you think 5,000 plus 10%, right?
Yes.
Is 500. Okay.
5,500.
So, okay. So upon this 5,500, they are going to reduce the TDS, correct? So this is the invoice you are going to send?
Yes. 5,500 we
Okay.
have.
Okay. Right. Minus 10%. Tell me how much is 5,500 minus 10%?
5,000.
Are you sure?
5,500.
Just calculate and tell me.
Acha, for 4,500 it will be, I think.
4,950.
So is the institute getting 5,000?
No.
So how much should you add? How much should you add so that upon removing 10%, institute still gets 5,000?
5,000.
600.
4,000.
5,600.
5,700.
Okay. Like how? What is the calculation? So this is your homework. You have to. This is simple, no? Is there any complication here?
No.
So adding 10% and removing 10% should not be a complication. Okay. So this is your homework. So you should come up with like not a just simply guesswork is not allowed. See, I can also guess like 555. Okay. 0.90 minus 10%. If you do, you are getting 5,000, right? Now you are getting 5,000. Understood?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you should tell me how did I get that 555.90?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
So you should not miss these points. If you once you send to the sponsor and he will reduce 5,000, you will not get 10%. You will not get amount. No, you have seen by yourself. Okay. Here you will write including 10%, okay, TDS, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, upon this 5.90, what is 22% overhead charges? 22% is, okay, this is a one. Okay. So what's the total now? Let us keep rounded off. Okay. So like that you should do for 30,000 and tell me. Got it? Okay, what is the GST then? 18% will be GST current rate. So 609.93. So are you getting how I am calculating? Okay. So can you tell me what is the total now? You can round this off. Is my total correct?
Okay.
Correct. So you should write this in Word also. I use something called as macros, which will convert automatically the number to words. Okay. Okay, now can you raise the EC fee invoice? So did you understand the calculation behind it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So EC will only review once they get the EC fees confirmation. So after you raise the invoice, okay, after you raise the invoice, you have to attach the confirmation from the sponsor. So you have to ask what is the transaction number and everything. So sponsor will send you the transaction number or IFSC, that IMPS transaction number, or whatever transaction number is there. So you will put the same transaction number in the covering letter of that document of the when you are submitting the documents for review. Then the EC will check their accounts if they have got the amount or not. Okay, only then they are going to review. Okay. We'll call this as credit advice. Okay. And for review, you will be sending along with the submission letter. Okay. Or otherwise, if you are giving institute account, okay, and every project will have their own register, right, in the institute. Okay. So you have to report to the institute that we have got so and so amount, okay, on particular day, right? And you have to attach the sponsor communications once you receive amount. Okay, then the institute will check and then they will allocate that amount to your project. Understood? Yeah, yes or no?
yes, sir.
So just give me a moment. I'll show you how to write that letter also. Okay. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So after sponsor confirms, so once you send the invoice, like the expected date, sponsor will tell you might get money in 15 days or so. So active follow-up should be there. So you should always query the sponsor, like what is the status of payments or what is the status of invoices sent. Okay. Otherwise, your payments will be delayed, right? So like this, you have to write to your hospital accounts or whatever department is dealing with the accounts. Okay. You should submit the UTR number for CRC salary for months of so and so. So you can write, I am submitting the remittance advance with so and so number of particular of this amount for CRC salary for the month of Jan, Feb, whatever. Okay, the amount was transferred on so and so date. So this number and transfer date is very important. This is a transaction number and date of transaction. Then they will go and check their accounts. They will have their statement, they'll check the accounts. And so what happens is in institutes, there will be only one account for all research projects. Okay, they do not maintain separate accounts. So every research projects happening in this institute will deposit, all the sponsors will deposit into same account. So this you are sending in order to tell them that this amount is for the particular project here, study title, whatever study title is here. So you should, they'll maintain separate registers for each study account. So that they will write in that register or do an entry for that particular, they will allot this amount to your project. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So right from starting the invoice to following up and submitting, and you have to check the registers also in a timely manner, because you are sending the receipt to the institute, right? So you have to check with the accounts team whether they have done the entry in the register or not. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen if you do not follow up is, if you submit this letter and you do not follow up, one day they will say that enough funds are not there for paying the CRC salary. Okay. But if you go and check, they might have not added one of your payment. Okay. One of your payments to your account or to your project. Okay. So this will happen. So always follow up and follow up until this amount which you have raised and sent by the sponsor, you have notified to the institute, is allotted to your project. Okay. Okay. So this is the format of raising investigations invoice. Okay, for lab tests or for scanning or anything. So for each CTA, we'll tell you a particular amount of investigation. So how much you can spend for that amount. So this they will know while making initial CTA, right? You will be sending the cost of the test to the sponsor. Based on it, they will send. So you have to be careful while reading the CTA. So is this amount including the overhead charges or not? Okay. If it's including the overhead charges, you have to write the amount directly. Okay. If it's excluding the overhead charges, at the end, you have to write overhead charges also, as we have done with investigation EC invoice. Understood? So let us consider you have started the study and 3 months have passed. After 3 months, your CR has visited the hospital and checked all the data. Okay. So after the monitoring visit, all the 3 months, whatever test you have done, you need to make invoice. So you have to write patient number for what visit and what is the test and cost. So which cost you will write here? Your hospital bill. Can you refer it?
Including overhead charges.
Yeah, that is there. But where do you see this amount from? Okay, so what happens is many times institutes will increase the investigational charges. Okay, that means lab charges. So they will send high lab charges to the sponsor because this is clinical trial. Okay, so but still in the routinely your patient will go and pay the bill. Okay, and that bill will have an amount, right? So you should not consider confuse and not add that amount. The original amount you should not add. Whatever present in the CTA, you have to add. And from time to time, you have to look at the CTA and compare the original bills you are having because the lab test cost might increase. Let us say PET CT scan is 12,000 today, and in your CTA 12,000 was written, or 13,000 or 14,000 something, including overhead charges, right? So after 6 months, it might increase, right? So you always have to look for original bills also. If they are increasing, then your institute will go into loss. So you have to inform same to the sponsor and get the lab test revised in the CTA. Understood?
Yeah.
So this is the exact amount which is present in CTA. Right. So total amount is this much, GST is this much, and total payable will be this much. And similarly, you will. This is wrong. So this is how invoice of investigations looks like. Okay. So some sponsor will allow lab invoices to be sent without monitoring visit also. Okay. Provided you have to enter the data into ECRF. Some sponsor will allow that. Once you enter the data into ECRF for the particular visit, you can raise the invoice. But some sponsor will not allow that. Only after monitoring visit you can only after monitor visit and monitor has reviewed that visit. After that only you can raise the invoice for particular visit. So you have to be careful which sponsor is allowing what. Understood? So can you come up with the costs at your hospital for our study? So this is a patient visit or visit invoices or investigational charges. Okay, investigator charges, right? So for particular cycle, it will be like cycle wise. So for particular cycle, the amount will be fixed. Okay, this might include investigator charges or PI charges or not. Okay? If the institute performs this particular cycle, they will get this much amount per patient. Okay.
So here PI charges will be included, right?
Yes, sometimes they will include PI charges. Okay, it depends on budget to budget, how institute to institute. Okay, sometimes they will include that into the cycle cost. Okay, because PI will be working each cycle, he will be seeing the patient. Okay. Sometimes they will not include it in the cycle cost and keep investigator fee separately, right?
Okay.
So, but each time for each visit, it will be fixed amount. But for any patient, for cycle 1, they will get this much only once the visit has been completed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what will it include is, so usually it will include investigation, like routine investigation, pre-dosing investigations will be done. Okay, like blood test and urine analysis will be done. That investigation will be covered in this. Also, admission into hospital and giving the treatment. So whatever the charges. So based on that, this will be calculated. So what is the admission charges? What does it cost for a hospital to give the treatment and to do the pre-dosing tests? And what is the investigator fee? Based on these three things, the cycle cost will be decided. Okay. And in investigator fee or cycle cost, what do they do is they keep certain amount. Okay, we have discussed this previously. They keep certain amount, 10% retention as per clinical trial agreement. Okay, so you need to check the CTA. Okay, you need to check the CTA. How much percentage is the retention? Okay, if it's 10%, 5%, or 12%, whatever it might be. So you have to deduct that amount. Okay, you have to deduct that amount in the invoice and send it. So at the time of study closeout, okay, they will return you all this 10%. Okay, throughout all the invoices. Understood?
Sir, can you repeat it once again?
So what happens is in investigator fees or cycle cost, the sponsor will retain 10% to be given at the end of the study. Okay. Whatever percentage it might be, they will retain certain percentage. Okay. That percentage they will give at the time of study closeout. Okay. All the patients has been completed. All the follow-ups are also be done. Now the study is closed and site is ready for closeout. Okay. At that time, after the closeout visit or during the initial last monitoring visit, then they will give the withhold amount. Okay.
Oh,
This is to patients, sir.
This is
institute.
for
Like this CTA 10% retention amount while like when the study is going to close up, so it will be given to patient or whom it will be given to this 10% retention at the last matlab, when the study is wind up.
institute. No payment will be given to patient. Nothing. So sponsor will never pay anything to the patient directly. Okay, you remember this point. So what will happen if sponsor pays directly to the patient?
Mm,
Bribery.
Yeah, it's kind of forcing, right? Giving money and getting into clinical trial, right? So only thing is all the amount, whatever it goes, either goes into investigator's account or into institute's account, okay? Or into a SMO's account if the organization present, okay? Whatever. So so what patient will get is only travel charges, okay? All the treatments or lab tests related to this will be free most of the times. So the study will be free, but the patient will only be getting travel allowances. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubts or it's clear?
I wanted to ask you this thing, sir. Like before initiation of the study, this matlab, estimation is done, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Estimation of matlab cost, how much it will cost. Then everything is done, but when the study is started, every month we have to prepare invoices to pay. Matlab, they will not pay like total amount. Monthly they will pay. The sponsor will pay monthly on monthly basis.
Yes, yes.
Or
There is a yeah. Please ask. Please complete it.
yeah, I had this doubt only. Like they won't give you the total amount. Monthly they will be giving you depending upon our invoices.
Correct, correct.
Depending upon our need.
So yeah, I've shown you the budget, right?
Yes.
Where is let us open that. Is the budget? Just a moment. I'll just search my system. Let's compare the budget and I'll show you.
And one more thing is that, sir, these invoices are made before the, matlab, if a patient is due tomorrow for MRI, so this invoice is made before the tests are done or after the completion of test?
After completion of test.
After completion of test.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, where is that document? I'm not able to find it. Give me a moment. Able to find the document. Sorry, I'll to mask the CT and kept it ready for you to show. Okay, just have to mask it. You can see the screen.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So usually this is like an example budget. Okay. So for investigator grant, let us say this is per patient. Okay. So investigator grant means entire grant for institution. That is the meaning here, not for investigator. So they will write separate like investigator grant or site grant like that. So this is per patient. So what happens is overhead charges will be there. So for each visit, there will be amount given to the institute. So for conducting screening visit. So even though there are no lab tests done locally in this study, okay. So all the lab tests except ECG, all the lab tests are maximum lab tests are sent to central lab. Okay, some genetic testing is there or some PKPD testing is there. All will be sent to the lab. So it's in screening visit to take the patient to take consent. Okay, write all the notes and do all the screening tests. For that, there is a particular grant that is 50 terms. So next is visit 2, visit 3. Like that, each visit wise there will be grant and patient. So let us say you have enrolled one subject, okay, one patient. You have screened and you have enrolled. So it's a subject completed, visit 2, visit 3. Okay, and at this particular point of time, monitoring has been done. Okay, and all the visits have been confirmed and data has been checked. Now you are supposed to raise investigational grant. Okay. Understand? So let us say this is the total budget. Okay. So total budget 14 lakhs or something is the total budget, right? This total budget you will not get. You will only get up to what work you have done. Okay, you have enrolled 3 patients. You will get, and that 3 patients, how many cycles they have completed. Only until then you will get the amount. Okay, understood?
Okay.
So here overhead charges is separate. They have not included overhead charges here. So this is separate. So if you want to included overhead charge, this is the amount you have to consider. Okay. So this is the investigator fee. Per subject, this is the investigator fee. Once the subject is enrolled, at least completed 1 or 2 cycles, then the investigator is supposed to get this much amount. Okay. And institute will get this much amount. And it depends on internal agreements of institute and the doctor how much they will give to the investigator. But this entirely site will get this much amount. Okay. So ECG, they will have 300 rupees into 2 times. Okay. ECG is required. That might be before, during screening or at the safety test. Once the subject is completed or out of trial, there will be safety tests at an end of treatment test. Maybe at that time ECG is there. So you will check the amount there and you will write from the CTA. Understood? So similarly, for patient travel also, you will be raising the invoice. Okay. As and when you have given the travel amount to patient, you will raise the invoice to the company. So understood here?
What are these 22% overhead institutional charges of the hospital doing the study?
No. See, yes, it can be considered like that. See, you are doing a study. Okay. So obviously for doing clinical trials, hospital has to provide you certain space. They have to provide you electricity. Okay. So your refrigerators are there in the department. The electricity is provided to your refrigerator to maintain IP, right? Everything is there now. So as they are providing you the space, okay, and service to conduct clinical trial, allow you to do conduct clinical trial in the hospital, then the hospital will get something called as overhead charges. Okay. Understood? No. Yes, no, you have to answer.
Yes, sir.
Did everyone understand what overhead charges are?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Okay. So let us consider. So now the overhead charges are not there. Okay. So what will happen? Investigator will get his investigator fee, right? Patient will get the travel fee. Sponsor will get the data. So what will the hospital get for allowing to do the clinical trials and using their space and everything? So in hospital or the management as an organization, they will get something called as overhead charges. This is not a clinical trial. On academic studies also, institutes charge overhead charges. Okay. So did you understand how to raise an invoice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. हैंड से आता तो लेफ्ट हैंड से लिखो.
So I'll add few more here. Patient travel. As well as you might also have to raise invoice for study startup. Okay. Startup. So like they might, a sponsor will give based on agreement to agreement. If there is setup needs to be made or computers need to be purchased in order to make department ready. So sponsor will allot you a study startup fund, let's say 1,50,000 or something, and they will be written what should be used from the study startup fund. Okay, for the study startup fund also you need to raise an invoice. Okay? Similarly, same manner, you will raise an invoice. Sponsor will give you a upfront fund. Okay, because you will be doing lab tests, you will be doing everything. You should have fund. And SAE invoice also same like investigational cost. In similar manner, you will write all the lab test, bed charges, etc., and you will raise an invoice. So any doubts in this?
No, sir.
So now I will share you a CTA, okay, and I'll share you like let us consider you have enrolled 3 patients and particular tests are been done. I'll share you everything cost of it. So you should give me an invoice, okay. EC invoice you should rate, study startup invoice you should rate, CRC salary per cost, investigational cost, okay, patient travel, everything. SAE we will raise at later stage. Once we do SAE class, after that we can do it. Understood what you have to do?
Yes. Sir, can you share that copy of that invoice letter so we
Yeah,
can?
definitely. I'll share.
Okay.
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 Okay. So done with the invoice. So shall we move with next session, next topic?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what are teams are involved? I've shown you also. Can you tell what are teams are involved in clinical trials? If you answer this, then you have answered the question what job you can do also. What all opportunities are there for you?
Debt management team.
start from the clinical trial and hospital. Data management comes later, right? Okay,
Site
data.
management.
Hmm?
PI,
Okay, investigator, yes, and
sponsor,
sponsor, yes, and his team, investigator, sponsor, and his team. Okay, and
CRO or SMO.
Regulatory authority.
yes, regulatory authority is there. Correct. Patient.
Yes, sir.
Patient is not the team. You forgot the important person in clinical trial, right? So let us see. So excluding the patient here, so we can see in there are team, or we can tell them as stakeholders in clinical research. There will be sponsor team, regulatory bodies, investigator team, and ethics committee, right? Ethics committee is also a stakeholder in clinical trial. So investigator team includes all the people like investigator, COI, PI, CRC, study nurse, pharmacist, phlebotomist, if there is any project managers, everybody. Okay. Regulatory bodies include DCGI, CDSCO, and DCGI officers. Right. Now the sponsor team will include clinical operations team, data management team, PV team, and also your medical team, medical review team. Okay. So they will have all the teams, right? So sponsor includes all these departments, right? So you can either work in the investigator team or in the sponsor team, right? Usually, what is the process is, usually you get to work at the investigator team for like couple of years, 1 or 2 years. Then you understand how the clinical trials are done at the ground level. Then you move on to the sponsor level, right? So here, investigator is primarily responsible for the patient's rights, safety, and also conducting the clinical trial according to protocol, rules, and regulations. Okay, and do it ethically. Right? So these are all the investigator teams, or essentially investigators' responsibility. One is informed consent, and two, assessing the qualification of experience of study personnel. Okay, this is also is very important. We have discussed regarding delegation log, right? So in order to delegate, whom to delegate with to which activities, then this is a mandatory thing. So if you are not delegating a science graduate or BSc, you are delegating them to BCom person or non-life science person. So to what activities you need to delegate to them is very important, right? So informed consent, qualification, this is major thing, medical care of study participant. Once the subject comes into clinical trial, so medical care of that participant becomes the primary responsibility of the study investigator. Okay, so whatever adverse event he is facing, that might be or might not be related to study drug. So his diabetes has gone up and he is feeling giddiness. Okay, he has collapsed or something has happened. Okay, so everything needs to be reported to the investigator, and investigator should record everything. Okay, so and he should provide the care to the subject throughout the clinical trial. Okay, and who pays for that is depends if it's related to the study drug or not related to study drug. But investigators should take the responsibility of providing treatment or medical care to the study participants. So providing care means there are two things here. So investigator, if it is related to diabetes or anything, but the investigator is oncologist, it doesn't mean he have to treat the diabetes also. He should refer to the endocrinologist. Okay, like that appropriate care should be taken that entire treatment of that patient is being covered. Right. Next important thing is communication with institutional review board EC and also with sponsors. Here you can add. Okay. So investigator and his team should communicate key aspects to the institutional review board, like all protocol updates, ISAF updates, SAEs, and SIOMs, SUSARs. Okay, all these things, progress reports, all these things needs to be communicated with the institutional review board. Okay? And also investigator undertaking. If you are changing investigator undertaking, the sponsor is changing any lab for testing, central lab name has been changed, address has been changed, or entire lab has been changed. So all the relevant communications needs to be communicated to EC. And if there are any protocol deviations, this is very important. Any protocol deviations are there, it should be reported to the EC as well as sponsor. Okay. And compliance with the protocol is very important. Okay. So investigator needs to train himself from time to time. Okay. So he has to update, he has to have good understanding of the protocol, and also investigator has to train the study team. Okay, so that protocol is maintained. So if any protocol violations happen, then just a minute. Okay. Then it becomes investigator's responsibility to report that deviation to EC. Okay. So similarly, if the study has been terminated or prematurely ended, then also investigator needs to report it to the EC. Okay. So did you understand the investigator's team? Who is investigator team? What do they do?
Yes, sir.
See, most of these duties, okay, most of these duties, writing part and everything, coordinator will take care. Okay. So research coordinator. So coordinator plays a key role in clinical trial. Okay. So it is in the hand of coordinator either to make up to the good quality or to spoil the entire study. Okay. So it is very important for the investigator to train the coordinator properly, because coordinator is the person who will be writing all the source notes, okay, filling the logs, writing the temperature log daily, okay, maintaining, he's the person who is responsible. If he's responsible for writing all the source notes, then the major GDP, good documentation practices, also is in his hands, right, his or her hands. So if you are planning to work as a coordinator initially to learn the work at hospital level, then you should be aware of all the rules and regulations, all the processes, how it's happened, okay, all the reports timely when you have to send. So everything you need to know. So again, coordinator responsibility is to ensure that the study data is collected and reported accurately, all the AEs are reported, and to maintain the site files properly. So, and to maintain all the regulatory, all the relevant communications in the site files, okay, and keep the logs updated in the site files. And they assist in the monitoring and data management for CRA to come and monitor, okay. So if you look at here, these are the core CRC responsibilities. Of course, they have to adhere to protocol, okay, and ensure that proper consenting of the study subject is done. So proper consenting means if the study subject comes into your office, so into the department, and if is all okay to be screened, okay, initially is okay to be screened. Now the CRC's primary responsibility is to check all the medical history, collect all the medical history of the patient. Okay, sometimes patients might miss to tell certain things to the doctor, that might due to time constraint or anything, okay. So as a CRC or a study team, you have to inquire entire background of the subject, okay. So when did the disease start, what did you do after disease, what treatment did you take, okay. So what type of con meds for other concomitant conditions. So If the patient is diabetic, he might be suffering with hypertension also. He might have thyroid condition. Okay, so like that, entire history, his disease history should be taken. Okay? And also, is he illiterate or illiterate? That should be confirmed. If he's illiterate, he should be told that impartial witness should be brought. Okay, before coming to consent. Okay, so you have to arrange everything for taking consent. Okay, while taking consent. And day-to-day activities like coordination of clinical treatment, study visits, follow-up, everything should be taken, will be taken care by coordinator, right? As I told you, study documents and proper reportings of AE and SAE will also be done by CRC. So he is there to ensure that these reports are being sent on timely basis. So these are all additional CRC responsibilities. I will not call it as additional, but these are also CRC responsibilities. Okay. Like regulatory documentation, case report forms filling, right? So did you understand what CRC do at a site?
Yes, sir.
Like he or she does everything. Okay. Except from treating the patient, they do everything. Okay. So here subject has also some responsibilities as he is signing the consent and he is agreeing to participate in the study. So he is expected to stick to the protocol related schedule events. So if the every 3 weeks the schedule is there, so he is expected to come on time. Okay, and he is expected to report all his side effects or any kind of difficulty he is having or anything to the sponsor, and he is expected to report any changes in concomitant medication. So if he is suffering with the other condition along with his primary disease in which we are doing the study, like diabetes or thyroid, so his sugar levels have increased, and his physician, endocrinologist, the primary physician has changed the drug. So that also they have to report to principal investigator. Okay. So important thing is subject has to report the change in status of their mobile number, address in timely manner, right? So this is important. So pharmacist role, if sometimes CRC can be the pharmacist if they are a pharma graduate. Otherwise, there can be study specific pharmacist, or pharmacist in the hospital can be delegated to the study. So he takes care of entire investigator product. So receiving the IP, storing the IP, and maintaining the accountability of IP. So how much has been received from the site, at what time, which quantity, and how much is remaining, right? Now IWRS systems are smart and they will automatically order the IP. That is called as automatic drug orders, right? Earlier it was not like this. So pharmacist or study coordinator has to look at how much IP is remaining. Okay, then they have to order the IP from the sponsor. Okay, but now the IP is being auto ordered. Once you are dispensing the IP to IWRS, right? IWRS, the system knows how much is remaining and how many patients are there in the study. So accordingly, sponsor will send the IP. So again, phlebotomist will be delegated. So phlebotomist job is to draw blood and process it, like centrifuging, removing the plasma and serum from the blood. Okay, and preparing it to be sent to central labs or the local lab. Okay. So sponsor is very key stakeholder in the entire study. So in the view of DCG or regulatory authority, sponsor is responsible for entire study. Okay, and sponsor is also responsible to see that investigator is sticking to the protocol and doing the study correctly, right? So how do they see that? How do they ensure the site performs correctly?
Monitoring.
Yes, monitoring, training, okay. So risk identification. What is risk is, so first identification of risk, is there any protocol deviations are done, or you have to evaluate it, why it has been done. So controlling it is important, communication, review and reporting. So these all parameters are very important and sponsor team is engaged in doing all this. Okay. So let us see how do they do it. So quality assurance and quality control, of course, they will have SOPs, right? Like protocol is a document which will tell you how the study should be done, and there might be SOPs like site-specific SOPs, and GCP will be there. Good documentation practices will be there. Pharma manual will be there. Okay, for everything there should be SOPs and manuals. By following that, investigator or his team should be able to do the study properly. Okay. So one more and the other responsibility are trial along with selecting CRO. Okay, sponsor team is also responsible to select a CRO. So if the sponsor does not have expertise to conduct the study, or they do not have sufficient team to conduct the study, they give it to the CRO. Okay, and the designing of the study, management, data handling, record keeping is all the responsibility of sponsor. Okay, you can see here, right from investigator selection to providing medical experience, providing IP, okay, providing a proper documentation, monitoring, auditing. So all this is the responsibility of sponsor. So understood? Do you have any doubts still here?
Yes.
No, sir.
So is clinical research associate?
There are no
One
monitors.
is associated with SMOs or pharmacy clinics.
Associated with?
Sponsor company.
Yes, he is associated with sponsor or CRO doing the study. Okay. So he will be the key point of contact for the site. Okay. So he is the responsible person to ensure that site is doing the study correctly. So as CRC is key person in the site, okay, CRA is very important person at the sponsor level. So he is the person through which all the communications will be sent. Understood? So right from the beginning, before starting the study also, CRAs can help in developing the protocol and designing data collection forms as well. So why do you think CRAs is helpful in designing protocol?
He's supposed to know all the guidelines and also.
No. Yes, that is there. So everyone knows guidelines. So think what might be the reason. So he might not be a medical scientist or anyone, no? Like developing a protocol is big task. So medical persons will be involved, statistician will be involved. So CRA is a field guide. Why do you think they require? So he's not a subject matter expert. He might not be a subject matter expert like a doctor.
Might be handling a single study.
Hmm?
He might be handling a single study all globally, maybe like that.
Okay. So what will that do while developing protocol?
He'll be experienced in that type of studies, like what challenges they might face.
Correct. So CRA is a field guide. Essentially, is a field person. So he is the person who is visiting sites, who is who is taking care of all communications. Okay, so he knows the field better. He knows what protocols work and what protocols do not work. They will have clear idea. So calling a patient 3 times per month might not be feasible. Okay, or keeping the rule that you have to report particular AEs frequently, how much frequently you have to report. So there might be some AEs of special interest. If you keep 10 AEs of special interest and tell the teams site to report all these 10, it might not be feasible, right? So AEs of special interest should have been will be reported in detail. So CRA knows how much time a site has, so how much adherence patient will be, so how much feasible particular test is to be done. Okay, so CRA's opinion is very important. So because CRA is the person who is going to execute it, who is going to overview the execution, right? So that is the reason CRA is very important person. Okay, and also in companies, in larger companies, there will be teams like feasibility team is there. Okay, later on, so some CRAs will only handle feasibilities. That means they will select institutes. Okay, along with handling the studies, they will handle feasibilities, study startup. Like so, like from selecting the investigator who has good team, who has good patient pool, they will do that, and they will give them the CDA. They will do the feasibility visit, come look at the hospital, and write their report that okay, this hospital is fit to do the study. So okay, all that process is in the hands of clinical research associate. Okay, and is responsible to ensuring all the clinical trial materials or all the supplies are being reached to site in timely manner. Okay, and CRA will train the investigator and site team whenever the new protocols or IBs have been released or ICFs have been released, right? And CRA is responsible, its primary duty when she comes to the site is one is to see all the activities is being done to protocol and regulatory uh, requirement, and to do source data verification and source data review. Okay, source data review means whatever is present in the protocol has been done. Source data verification is so this data, whatever is entered in the CRF matches the record. Okay, so they will do source data review and source data verification. Okay, so starting from selecting the investigator and end of the study, like closeout and archival of documents, everything comes under responsibility of clinical research associate from the sponsor team. Understood?
Hmm.
So if you are working newly as an investigator or clinical research coordinator, okay, so you should not think CRA as your enemy. Okay, so he will come, he will write findings and everything. So it should not be like that, because what happens in field is if you communicate properly, well ahead, if anything has happened, any mistake has happened, so there are some things we can rectify without sponsor knowing it, right? So CRA can help you do that. Okay, understood? So if you are so as an investigator or as a coordinator or as a site team, you should always have good communication with the CRA. Okay, they are the persons who are going to help you a lot run the trial smoothly at site. Got it?
Okay.
So again, there are regulatory teams and pharmacovigilance, regulatory affairs team and pharmacovigilance team at sponsor level. So their duty is to prepare all the documents, regulatory document, that means protocol, IBs, okay, and scientific and legal documents pertaining to that clinical trial. This regulatory team will prepare. So whatever documents you will be getting at the site level, there is a regulatory team who will prepare, like CTA is there, okay, all those like insurance certificates is there, whatever documents you have sent to DCGI is there. So all that set, regulatory affairs is responsible for preparing the documents. Okay, and pharmacovigilance team is responsible for assessing the safety parameters of the drugs, okay, once they are into market. So pharmacovigilance team can be participated in marketing data and also in the clinical trials, okay. So once the drug has passed phase 3, okay, in the during clinical trials, so the pharmacovigilance can be done phase 4, or a post-marketing survey can be done in 2 ways. Either they have to conduct a clinical trial, proper clinical trial to check the safety parameters, or they can collect the data from the market, okay. So adverse events will be reported from hospitals, nursing homes, okay. So that data they can consider, or they can do clinical trials. In both scenarios, pharmacovigilance is a team who will analyze all the data and prepare reports. So whatever COMs you will be getting, or whatever safety reports you will be getting periodically, or whatever assay analysis is being done related to study drug or not, all the analysis is being done by pharmacovigilance team, okay. So they have the capacity to analyze risks and benefits of the drug, okay, that is marketing. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So there is one more team called data management team. So data management team will ensure that all the data according to GCP principles like completeness, accuracy, consistency is there. So once you enter the data into ECRF, so there will be a data management team who will sit at the office level, and they will review all the data for any discrepancies. Let's say, for example, simple example, the patient has come on 1st July. Okay, so 1st July subject has come, but the treatment given, there will be columns like when did the patient come, when did you give the treatment, but the treatment given you have entered as May or June 30. So it is a discrepancy, right? Patient has came on July 1st, you have written by mistake, you have entered the treatment given date as before date. So these kind of discrepancies, any discrepancies is found in the data, so data management will query you with a query. So they will ask, so the patient visit is on so and so date, so the treatment given is on so and so date, kindly confirm the patient visit or kindly correct the date of treatment. Like this, queries will be coming. So data management team will ensure all the data is consistent, accurate and complete. Okay. So did you understand till now?
Yes, sir.
So these are all the teams in which you can work also. So key important person is biostatistician. Okay. So biostatistician is a person who is involved in all the activities as well, like protocol design, sample size calculation, study implementation. So it depends on the biostatisticians. There will be a team, not one person. There will be a biostatistician team. Okay. So interim, let us say if you are looking for particular outcome, okay, or particular endpoint like survival time or reduction of HbA1c level or a reduction of size of the tumor in cancer. So you have enrolled particular patient, like out of 100 you have enrolled 50 patients. So depending on interim analysis, in that 50 patients they will do interim analysis. So if the particular results is not being found, or many patients are dropped out, did not complete the treatment, so biostatistician will recalculate the sample size, okay, if it's necessary, or they will prolong the duration of the study. Okay. So it's in the hands of biostatistician team. The fate of the study will depend. Okay. So they will analyze the data. So from designing to generating the reports, it is in the hands of biostatistician. Okay. So again, participating, extracting, storage, and analysis of data, construct analysis methodologies, perform data analysis of data sets like giving graphs, sending reports, everything is in the hands of biostatistician. So medical monitor will be essentially a clinician or a doctor who will be subject matter expert working with the sponsor. Okay. So whatever medical related doubts, which an investigator has, okay, related to product, related to patient treatment, that the medical monitor will take care of, okay. And also medical monitor will direct the clinical study, how it should happen at the site, coming to safety aspect, especially, okay. So any medical related aspect. So CRA might not know. So see, the patient treatment has been delayed by 2 minutes or something. Okay, delayed by 1 hour giving. So the medical monitor, as a doctor, he will know what is the impact of such delay. Okay, or what is the impact of providing particular concomitant medication to the patient. So all these things, medical monitor will review all the medical related information. Medical monitor will review this data from sponsor side. Okay. So any protocol violation has happened. So what is the impact of protocol violation of sponsor on that patient or subject? Medical monitor is the person who is going to assess. Understood? And one more responsibility is to review all the information provided to the subject, all the medical information, what is present in the IB. So all that delivered information, it will be reviewed for medical accuracy by the medical monitor. Okay, next team is medical writer. So what medical writer does is, they will compile all the data given by statistician and everyone, and they will prepare the reports, like preparing the protocol, preparing the publications, generate and preparing graphs for interim reports. So all the writing part which is being done in the clinical trials, that might be protocols, IBs, graphs, interim reports, final reports, publications, okay, writing case reports, everything is done by medical writing team, okay. And also, yeah, product dossiers for regulatory submissions, everything that how it should be written is in which format, in using correct language, is in the hands of medical writer. Okay. So that confusing parts you see in the protocol, right? In the last protocol, I told you to read a line. Remember? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. That upper limit of
Upper limit.
lab.
So that work is of medical writer. Okay. So coming to monitoring. So monitor will, once he comes to site, monitor will look all these activities. Okay. He will look regulatory documents as easy communications are made, protocol has been other, and only any local regulations are there. They will look at that, and they will look at source data, all the files, okay, which are present in that study, and all the data which has been entered, SDV, SDR, they will do it. Protocol complaints they will check. Importantly, they will check for IP accountability. You have written that you have given IP for so and so date, and empty containers will be collected back, right? So they will check the IP accountability, number of tablets remaining, or the empty vials, how much it is remaining. So everything. And time to time they will review site facilities, and like all the calibration certificates are updated or not, all the trainings are been done or not, and they will review patient related eligibility safety parameters. Okay, so these are all the things a monitor will review once they come to site. So ethics committee's responsibilities we have already covered, right? And regulatory body also we have covered. So regulatory body is primary responsibility is to take care of, protect the right, safety, and well-being of trial subjects. Okay, this is the first responsibility of regulatory body, apart from giving approval to the sponsor to conduct clinical trial or not. So this is the first responsibility of regulatory body. Okay, along with that, they will, once an SAE happens or anything happens, how much compensation to be given to the subject. So this is in the hand of regulatory body, DCGI, to decide. Okay? And giving the approval for the studies to go into next phase, to release into market. So everything is in the hands of CDSCO. So, so do you have any doubts in this class? No, yes.
No, sir.
So these are all the fields. So did you know all these fields before?
No, sir.
So these are all the fields in which you can work as. So except for biostatistician. So biostatistician, they always consider experienced person as biostatistician. Maybe you can join if you have particular qualification you've done. So you can join as biostatistician trainee or intern, something like that. But apart from that, most of the departments you can try to work in, right? Like it depends on your interest in which area you want to be in the clinical research, right? So, are you are planning to work in clinical research? Yes, no.
Confused between pharmacovigilance and this also. Not clear.
Okay, just give me a minute, please. I'm getting a call. Sorry guys, I got an urgent call. So you're all planning to work in CR? So Abhishek is confused.
I am looking for something I can do from my home.
No, at this point of stage, or completely want to be in home and do?
Because I keep traveling some days in India, some days in my Middle East somewhere. So my work should be constantly side by side should be going on. That's why was wondering I can go into something work from home kind of job in clinical research. Is it possible?
See, work from home is possible, but not like in your case. So you should be available when they call you. So that is the thing. So
Okay.
and also no, not in only in clinical research, for any field also, for that matter. So you have to be available when they call, no? If there are any
Yes.
meetings are there or any things are there. So you are traveling across countries and you can't expect to.
Across now, sir, I might be in like 6 months in Dubai, then come back to India, 1 month here, then go back like that.
That becomes difficult. In clinical research, it becomes difficult. And also,
Mm.
work from home is given for like experience.
Experience.
Yeah, once you have 2 3 years of experience, especially in CRAs, if they have like 3 4 years experience, maybe then they are given work from home.
Medical writing,
So everything is same.
same.
Same. So as a
Okay.
fresher, you just forget about work from home because
Okay.
medical writing also, like say,
Uh,
even if you complete the clinical trials course, okay. So honestly, practically, how much do you know?
yeah, that is right.
In order to work from home, you should have good idea of practically what is being what is happening there.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you are considered if you are working as a CRA, obviously your CRA is going to make fool out of you, right? They will tell some stories,
Yeah, we have to go and check on the site
of
what's
course.
going on.
Yeah, correct, right? So that might not be possible. And what's with others then? So which fields you are planning to go? No field, huh? Not yet decided. So it's not yet decided. You should have a plan how to decide also, right? So do you have a plan how to decide? Mahalakshmi.
Sir,
Uh, See, what not yet decided is okay. See, that is okay till now. So after 2 years also, what will change?
no, sir, we decided like I thought after joining course, uh,
Hmm?
sir,
Okay. No, I'm just asking you all like, what are your like parameters on based on which you will decide that I will go into this field or I'll not go into this field? Like, no, I'm really asking. I'm curious. That's all. So from time to time, people's and generations priorities will change, right? So I just wanted to be on current trends. So that's the reason I'm asking. So what is your priority? Like, see, to go into this field or so these are my priorities. So salary is a priority, time is a priority. Okay. So based on which I'll choose a field like that. So what are your priorities like? You can answer. It's just a general question.
Work should be interesting.
Okay.
And also, we'll have to get leave easily because we need to spend time with family also.
Okay.
Growth perspective.
Yeah, growth should be there. Correct. And
Where we can learn new things. It's not like the regular same work.
yeah, but let me tell you, after sometimes every work will become
And also, reasonable salary.
huh?
Reasonable salary.
Yeah, reasonable salary. Yeah, why not good salary? Why reasonable salary? Get a good salary. Okay. So reasonable means you don't have confidence on you.
Not like that.
So why do you want a reasonable salary? You get a best salary, what you can get. Huh?
Yes, sir, you are right.
And so, and from where you are planning to get this information? You have told reasonable salary, growth should be there, and family time should be there. So how will you know that you will get that in that particular field?
We'll have to ask someone experienced like you.
Okay. And
I don't see any other way to find it out.
yeah, so you have to do proper networking. Okay. So you ask different types of people. First, you need to know what you need. Okay, you should have clarity in your situation. So, what are your plans in your personal life in like next 5 years or 6 years? So you can ask
Yes, sir, you ask you about that. Are you
regarding.
able to spend with your family, friends?
Yeah, why not? Yes, I'm able to spend time. See, it all depends on your our personal right, preferences. Okay. So some people might. So I can tell you normal way that anybody can do anything and all those things. But do you think that works out practically?
No, sir.
Someone might like traveling a lot. Someone might not like traveling a lot. Correct? Someone might like to spend the time with family. Someone might not like. So like that. It depends to person, right? So once you meet seniors or somebody, you should ask them the personal questions as well, like apart from growth aspects and everything that is important. Also, how much time you are getting to spend with family. So how are you managing your both? So how much travel is there? So how much work hours is there? What kind of work is there? So all those questions you have to ask. Well, that is important.
Sir, per month, how many days will you be traveling
Where
to different sites and all?
So it depends. So initially, once you start working in normal companies, the travel will be local travel. Like in one place, like in one same place, you will be traveling. As you progress throughout the nation, you might have to travel. Okay, like they will be giving you like 4 sites. Let's say in Bangalore, okay, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, in New Delhi, like that. 4 sites. And monthly there might be as a CRA, you can expect at least 30 to 40% travel in a month.
Okay.
It will increase also. So that is a kind of travel. So once you are a CRA, that is a travel job. So you have to get up morning 3 o'clock. Okay. So flights will be at that time only. So once your flight is at 5 o'clock, you have to get up at 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Boarding time will be 1.5 hours prior. So all these things you have to be used to. So that's what, just write what are your priorities are and just see how they are aligning with your seniors and everyone. Okay. And don't have a strict list. So always things can change. So you might feel like traveling is boring, who will travel? But maybe once you see, you might like it, right? So just have a general list, that's all. It should not decide completely. Okay. And especially once you are working, once you start working as a professional, you should start picking up skills. Okay. So anyhow, your career will give you particular experience, right? So that any person working in that field will get that experience. So if you are working as a medical writer or a biostatistician or in the field of PV, okay, or in the field of operations, so that particular experience you will anyhow get. But apart from that, you need to learn new skills. Like if you are working as a CRA, maybe you can learn medical writing. Okay, maybe you can learn biostatistics, or you can learn accounting. So like that. Okay, so you have to always keep on learning things. So someone has told me that like career will give, like learning opportunity should be there. So the learning opportunity in the profession will be there anyhow, but additional skills also we have to learn. So these skills will be useful when the point of promotion comes or anything. Maybe you can learn a new language. Okay. So if you know new language, maybe you know Japanese or anything. So if there an opportunity there, you will be sent, right? So like that. So such cases have also happened in the past. So do you have any other doubts till now?
Yeah.
So do you have any suggestions to tell regarding our classes, how they are going and anything?
Sir, can you include a class on this CV writing?
Yeah, that is there. No, that is not there in this schedule.
Interview is there, I think. So not CV writing, I believe.
Okay, let me check. Just let me check. Okay. Where is it?
It is there.
It is there.
That's when you write the email. Edit.
Just a minute. Let me open the schedule. I believe it's there. Okay. Resume writing is there, na?
Maybe I didn't notice.
Yeah. So okay, it's okay. No issues. It's 26th class. It's on 13th July. Hari will be taking that. Okay. Resume writing, email etiquettes, and how to find a job and present yourself in an interview. It is all there. Okay. And anything else? Yeah, you can tell like if you want any additional classes in other subject or another topic, or if you have any doubts in the previous topic which could be repeated also, you can ask. But don't ask the classes if you have missed it. That we can't do. So is there any topic which you have felt difficulty which needs to be repeated or maybe summarized? Because I want you to be open. I'm ready for any suggestions or anything. So nothing, all good?
Yes.
And okay, I'll share you the materials for doing this task. Okay, so what's the task you're going to do?
Invoice.
Okay, yeah, invoices, right? So please do that then. Hey guys, bye.
Right.
Thank you.